Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everybody. What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Music. I have been studying this book, Think and Grow Rich. And a little bit about me is I got into reading this book when I was 19 years old. And then I was like, okay, I understood that it got deep, this philosophy, and I understood that I wanted to learn it. And I had this idea, okay, so what's the best way to learn something? And that would be to talk about it, teach it, whatever. So I don't want to necessarily call myself a teacher of this book because if I were a master of this philosophy, Think and Grow Rich, then by definition of a few things in the book, I would have everything that I want. And the question is, why am I reading this? Well, really, I really do want everything that I want, and so that's what brings me here. Now, we are spending the week talking about decision, and we went through the first 4 pages of Think and Grow Rich yesterday. So it's pretty short and sweet. And now the next part of the book talks about freedom or death on a decision, and it is actually about how America was formed by making a committed decision to break free from Great Britain. Right? It's a great story, and it's something I'm not ready to share yet because I didn't really do any prep work on the story today. But something that did stick out to me was from this book. It's called Mental Toughness. And I want to talk about making committed decisions today. And it was just something I wanted to read that hit me a little bit interestingly. So, yeah, I'm changing books today, but it's for a good reason. We're talking about decision and and this is a great book as well. So it's going to kind of tie into the conversation. So I want to read this. Now, in Mental Toughness, this is on chapter 14, and he's saying that champions make do or die commitments. He says, and by the way, this is by Steve Siebold. He is a mental toughness instructor, and I'll explain what mental toughness is after reading this chapter. So let me just read this real quick. Steve Siebold says, if there were one word that defined the champion, the word would be commitment. When everyone else is tired, exhausted, and burned out from the battle, the great ones are just getting warmed up. It's not that they don't fatigue, but their commitment to their dream keeps them going. Average people think it would be nice to achieve their goals as long as it doesn't get too uncomfortable or painful. He says champions do not recognize pain because they have made a commitment to do what it takes to win. Amateur performers make a commitment and approach it like a hobby. Professional performers make a commitment. Professional performers make a commitment and approach it like a war, knowing they will have to endure an unknown level of suffering along the road to victory. Amateur performers always question the price they have to pay for success. Champions pay whatever price it takes to win. The small difference in mental strategy makes all the difference in the world. Commitment is more about making a decision to do whatever it takes to succeed than anything else. Yet only the pros seem to be able to get themselves to make these decisions. All right, so that was just a section on commitment. So that's the whole chapter. Just for reference, it's only a page long. These chapters, it's either a page or 2 pages long. But I definitely wanted to tie that into the conversation on decision because I feel like something I've experienced in my life was okay. I've made the decision to dive into entrepreneurship and in sales role especially, and really put myself out there. But did I make the decision, or did I try it out? Did I put my foot in the water is the question, right? And I understand that there's levels to it. So I've been um kind of going out, being a salesman at least since I was 19. The first thing I started was a painting business, and I started doing that by going door to door selling, right? And so I've continued on the little journey to this point. I'm 22 right now, um, but there's been some things that I've made decisions on that I didn't keep continuously making that decision every day on, and that's why I think this conversation about committing to your decisions is so interesting. So instead of Think and Grow Rich today, I do want to kind of talk about just a little bit of mental toughness, because it does really require mental toughness to not only make the decision, be like, okay, I'm doing it, but to follow through every single day on that decision. And I'll repeat some things that stuck out to me. Uh, he says that professional performers will make a commitment and approach it like a war, knowing that they're going to go through an unknown level of suffering along the way, but they're willing to pay whatever price it is. And he says amateur performers always question the price they have to pay. Like, they're always asking, okay, why am I doing this? Why did I actually stick out this decision? And he's saying that the small difference between the two is the reason why the pros succeed at such a high level in terms of money, wealth, happiness, joy, all the success that you can imagine. And amateurs cut themselves off at a baseline level. Um, so, so am I the best at staying committed to things? No, I'm not. I'm definitely not the best. But I started this live call to become better and to share with you just what I've been thinking, and uh, kind of where I'm at on my journey. So at the end of the day, the two tie together. Um, Now let's bring it back to what Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, you make the decision, and who are you going to tell now after you made the decision to do X, Y, and Z goal? All right. One thing, basically, what I'm going to be reading is a little bit the same of what we talked about yesterday, but I just want to kind of phrase it in terms of committed decisions today, because I do think this is an important topic. So on page 201 in Decision, Napoleon Hill said, keep your own counsel when you begin to put into practice the principles described here by reaching your own decisions and following them. He said, take no one into your confidence except the members of your mastermind group, and be very sure in your selection of this group that you choose only those who will be in complete sympathy and harmony with your purpose. Now, why is that so? Right? Because at the end of the day, we're gonna make the decision to do something, and it's not like, okay, we're gonna make the decision, all of a sudden get all the reward for it. We're gonna have to make that decision every day. So why is it so important to have a mastermind group who you tell, okay, this is where I'm going? And why can't you tell everyone on your Instagram or Facebook, okay, like, this is where I'm going? Why are you not all supporting me, right? Like, all 1,000 of my followers, why are you not believing in me here? Because the truth is, they're not in harmony with your purpose. They can't see your life through their lens. They're focusing on their mindset, where what's possible for them, and they're inflicting their beliefs on you. So they're not going to have the same level of belief that you want them to have in you. And that's just how it is. So how's that tie in with commitment? I realized that one thing I learned from this chapter was just being careful who I tell my plans to, and who I really keep in my little inner circle, right? I keep my inner circle really tight. I don't I'm not saying this is the best, but I don't post that much on social media no more because I don't really want to tell people where I am going in terms of my own goals. Because and the question is, why don't I do that? Well, I don't want outside influences that aren't in harmony with my purpose to discourage me, to put me down, like friends and who are just trying to make light of the situation by poking fun at saying where I'm going to go. Like I don't tell them certain things because like okay, like I am being a little bit vulnerable when I'm telling you like where I'm going and you're going to make fun of this. So that's how's that tie into commitment, right? Like if you're making a decision, you do want people that are going to have your back on this decision, and that's why having a mastermind group ties really closely into this chapter on decision and holding that decision and making a commitment. So that all like the reason I'm talking about this is because they all tie together. What else was good stuff? So I guess I got to take it a step back, right? Like I really want to dive into this idea on opinions again. We talked about this yesterday, but let's talk about it again. Uh, he said the majority of people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs are generally easily influenced by the opinions of others. He said, all right, I'll read it furthermore. He says they permit the newspapers, the gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. Opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon at anyone who will accept it. If you are influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed in any undertaking, much less in that of transmuting your own desire into money. Right? Like there's going to be people that do have opinions. Let's face it, they're everywhere. They're so damn cheap and worthless, and they really like this is for me like what I'm saying this, but they shouldn't be given any thought towards like okay, cool, you got an opinion about me. I know for a fact you didn't think, you just are shooting out some opinion with some bare level thinking. So why should I really give credit to that opinion especially if it's negative. Like if it's a good one, so be it. But then again, I'm also not trying to get too high on the highs and too low on the lows. Now, in terms of staying committed to decisions, how important does opinions come into play? Right? Like when you say you're going to go somewhere and you do commit to every day going that place, right? What are you going to experience? What are your friends going to say about you? Like at the end of the day, they're going to be like, "Are you out of your mind?" And my mentor used to say, you're not out of your own mind. See, the difference is you're out of their mind of what they perceived you as. And and that's just how it is. You probably will outgrow some people in your life, especially if you do set your goals high enough and you're going for them. So they're gonna have bare level opinions. Now, how do you keep your mind intact during when this is going down? When it seems like, oh my god, like the world's crashing on me, right? Like that's where the mental toughness comes in, and that's what is the difference between the champions and the amateurs. The amateurs do take into account the opinions of others. They do think about what their parents might say, what their friends might say, and what might be said behind their back. But in the champions, on the other hand, not saying they love this, but they know where they're going, they're committed to it, and they know that they're going to pay whatever price, no matter how uncomfortable it is to get there. So it's the question is, how large of a price are you willing to pay to get to your dreams and the desire that you have written down on your goal card back in the chapter on desire? Like, what price am I willing to pay? Am I gonna make this a hobby? Am I gonna be an amateur, or am I gonna make the decision that I'm gonna be a professional and I'm gonna commit to this? And no matter how tough the going gets, I'm gonna keep pushing forward one step at a time. So that's the conversation for today. Now, tomorrow we're gonna just go over just I'll give a summary on one of the greatest stories is actually how America came to be. And America, as a matter of fact, came to be its own free independent country because of a decision that was made. And a lot of people think that, oh, it's the most important date was the 4th of July when America was officially signed the Declaration of Independence. But when did the real decision occur, right? And we're going to dive into how that occurred well before 4th of July. So that would be a cool conversation to have tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it up to everyone watching. What are your thoughts on making a decision? Is there a decision that you need to be made? Um, and and where do you stand in terms of making a committed decision? So those are some thoughts to leave y'all with. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up early for this episode rather than 30 minutes. But yeah, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll leave you with this until we meet again in time and space. I will be continuing on this journey of studying and sharing this book and some insights I have. And likewise, if you got any insights into the book Think and Grow Rich or anything related of the such, please like let me know. This is a open conversation. I am no master at this book yet. So, anyways, I will see y'all. Peace out. Peace out.